Hi everyone, Kate Maxwell here. This video will be me reading the first chapter of my book, Rachel and the Crystal Palace. If you'd like to read the entire book, which is free, please visit my website, katemaxwellbooks.com. Thanks and enjoy the view while I am reading the book. Chapter 1. The Magic Swing. Rachel loved her swing. It was her refuge, her safe place. On her swing, she could forget about everything and soar into the air, stretching her legs to touch the sky. She could twist around, watching the chain metal making a snake above her. When the snake was almost to her head, Rachel would dig her feet into the ground. Spinning herself free, she would laugh at the dizzy feeling when she finally came to a stop. It was a warm day at the end of September. At the ripe old age of 11, Rachel Thorne considered herself to be very wise. She understood much more than the grown-ups gave her credit for. Part of her early wisdom may be due to her illness, she admitted to herself. Spending so much time in hospitals tended to make a person wise beyond their years. There were moments when you had to be very brave and strong. Today was one of those days, but not for the usual reasons. Today, Rachel saw something very strange as she was swinging in her backyard. Today, the swing next to her became magical. It started with a funny feeling that made her drag her feet on the ground. There was something odd about the blue smiley face next to her. The swing was moving all by itself. She stared at the blue swing that often reminded her of a crescent moon or the smiley mouth on faces she'd drawn on notebooks at school. It looked like someone was swinging, but there was no one there. Then an even stranger thing occurred. A body began to appear in the magic swing. Rachel's heart was beating fast as she gulped and summoned her courage. An old man materialized right before her eyes. Was it a ghost or some odd figment of her imagination? "Good morning," he said in a friendly voice. Then Rachel realized that his words were not spoken. He thought the words. "Good morning," she responded, not sure what else to say. For some reason, Rachel wasn't afraid anymore. He seemed nice, and she felt very calm in his presence. "Who are you?" she asked. "Are you a ghost?" The old man had white hair, like a snowy cap, and bright blue eyes. His nose was round and plump. Not like a clown's nose. It was real enough, but it wasn't straight like Daddy's. His lips were also big, so you could barely see his teeth, even when he smiled. He wore a brown pair of pants and a white shirt, buttoned all the way to the top. It had a rounded collar, almost like a woman's blouse. A raggedy brown coat and old scuffed boots completed his outfit. He reminded her of her grandpa, except his clothes looked funny, old-fashioned somehow. Without a word, he disappeared, appearing in front of her swing. She wondered how he had moved so fast. The old man suddenly became very bright, in a glowing flash of light. Rachel had to cover her eyes as she raised her arm. Squinting, she peeked out from behind her elbow. "Wow, cool!" she exclaimed. Rachel could barely believe what she was witnessing. The old man was shining like a fluorescent light bulb. In fact, the glare was so intense she had to cover her eyes so they wouldn't hurt. "My, you are very bright!" she exclaimed. "Oh, dear, dear, excuse me, child. I'll turn it down." He reached up to his neck and turned an imaginary knob. Rachel decided it wasn't a real knob because there was nothing there but rosy-colored skin. "How did you do that?" she asked. "Oh, we have all sorts of controls and gadgets if you want them," he stated. "It's all a matter of the proper intention. Quite sorry, my dear. Didn't mean to make such a grand entrance. I sometimes forget myself." "That's much better, thank you," Rachel said. He was now glowing softly, like a dim firefly, as he floated over to the swing and sat down. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, looking at her with a sideways glance. "Be my guest," she replied politely. After all, she could hardly refuse him now, could she? That would be very rude. Besides, this was quite interesting and much more enjoyable than swinging alone. The old man held on to the chains and eased himself into the swing. The soft glow faded, so only his form remained, although that was quite thin and wispy. The trees were even visible on the other side of him. "Who are you?" she asked, curious now, wondering if he had a name. My, pardon me, young lady. I have totally forgotten my manners. I am Jonah. Very nice to meet you. I would offer you my hand, but I'm afraid that due to my transparent nature, you wouldn't feel a thing." "Hello, Jonah. Nice to meet you." "Shall we swing for a bit? I haven't done that in ages," Jonah told her. "Why not?" Rachel wondered what people would say if they knew she was swinging with a see-through man. Would anyone believe her? She closed her eyes, opening them quickly to see if Jonah was still there.